In this video, we will discuss what are the various smart grid domains. Basically, the smart grid technology has been divided into these 7 domains, which are smarter generation, smarter transmission, smarter distribution, smarter customer participation, smarter operations, smarter market, and the smarter service providers. So basically the smart grid domain is part of NIST smart grid framework. So you can go through this link and study more in detail about these smart grid domains. Let's try to understand how these domains are interconnected. So here if you see that there are various communication links between various domains, as well as there are electrical interfaces as well. So electrical interfaces are between generation, transmission, distribution and the consumer, while the communication interface is among all the entities, and there are various links. So you can see the importance of communication is more in case of smart grid domains. So in case of smart grid, the bits are stronger than the electrons, because the flow of electron is having limited domain interconnections, while the flow of bits are across all the domains, which you can see in this figure. So let's understand the role of each and individual domain one by one in the smart grid technology. So first, let's talk about the customer domain. So this is one of the very important domain, because the electricity is being consumed by this domain. Here, the customer can be classified into 3 main categories: residential, commercial, and industrial. So you can see in case of residential, the customer includes a lot of devices such as smart appliances, then smart meters, thermostats and automation, as well as solar PV rooftop, and so on. So all these devices interact with the external world using home gateway. Similarly, we have the industrial domain, where a lot of industrial devices and sensors interact with each other and through external world using industrial gateway. In case of commercial also, we have lot of devices and the generation as well as storage options for providing the demand response management, and they interact again to the external world using building gateways. So now these domains interact with other domains like service provider, operations, distribution and market. But one important thing which we have to keep in mind, that now customer is more participative, because he has to keep in mind the market activities such as real-time price of the electricity. He has to interact with the distribution system also. He has to interact with the operations as well as the service provider. So service provider is a new domain which is not visible in the conventional power system network. So we'll discuss in detail what does service provider domain means. But here the important thing to note is that the customers are going to play a very important role in distribution system operation through demand response using peak load shaving or valley filling and so on. A smart building or home automation solution will monitor and control the power consumption at the consumer premise in intelligent way, and these devices will interact to the external world using the gateways. So therefore, since everything is communication driven, the proper communication infrastructure is required for the prosumers, that means consumer as well as the producer of electricity, to interact with the operations, distribution systems and market. Now next is the market domain. So market domain includes market operations, market management, DER integrations and aggregation, retailing of the energy, ancillary services operations, energy trading, as well as wholesaling of the electricity. So energy market interacts with operations, distribution, bulk generation, customer, transmission, as well as service provider. In India, we have only 5% energy being traded in the market. So there is a requirement to develop the energy market, keeping in view the objectives of smart grid. The communication infrastructure integrating all the domains is very important in this case, because you need to have real-time information coming to various stakeholders so that they can take the informed decisions. Appropriate regulatory policy is also required to be formulated, because in the market domain money is involved, and to avoid any future frictions or the issues, the proper policies need to be developed for seamless integration of various domains. Pricing information also needs to be made almost real time. So the energy market also needs to be developed so that we can see the prices of the electricity almost in real time. Now the next domain, which is a new domain and not visible in the conventional power system domain, is the service provider domain. And the service provider domain can be divided into two parts. One is retailer and second is aggregator. The distribution system will be divided into multiple subsections. One will be the distribution of electricity, that means the ownership of physical wires and the supply of electricity to the doorstep of consumer will be the responsibility of a distribution company. After that, there will be a retail company which will take care of all the retail related matters. That means like your tariff calculation, your meter reading, and offering various schemes and the services as a retail entity. So in that case, the distribution company will only provide power to your doorstep. After that, the role of retail company will come. They will take care of all the commercial aspects of the electricity which you are consuming. Now, the another component which will be in the distribution system is aggregator, because the customers are increasingly utilizing the solar rooftop PVs. So if there is a oversupply of solar power and less consumption in the house of a customer, he would like to trade the excess electricity in the market, or try to sell the electricity to the neighbors. But it is not possible doing this kind of activity by the customer alone. So aggregator will play a major role in aggregating such kind of customers and then trade in the market on behalf of them for better price discovery. So aggregator will be like an intermediary between the customer and the energy market. At the same time, aggregator will also be having some offers or the technical supports to you. Say if you have the solar PV installed, you want to have frequent maintenance of the solar PV system, or if there is a communication failure, those kind of technical supports will also be provided by these aggregators. These will play a key role in the smart grid service provider domain, where the interaction will happen from customer to the market using these service providers, and to the operations also with the help of the service provider. Now, other services which you can see is that smart home management. So your service provider can also offer you the smart home solution in your house, and it will maintain your controller. It will keep on supporting the technical devices which are installed in the smart homes. So all those things like installation and commissioning of the devices and account management of the customer will be taken care by these service providers. So next is operations management. That means how to operate the power system network. The lot of software applications are already being utilized in this particular domain in the existing power system network also. Say for example, SCADA, energy management system, distribution management system, outage management system, and so on. These applications are falling under the operations domain because the applications are utilized for the proper operations of the power system network. So the operations will interface with transmission, that is physical transmission system, physical distribution system, customer, service provider, and market. What are the various operations? The operations include maintenance and construction of the power system network, financial aspect of the power system network, maintaining the supply chain and logistics, record of the assets, operations planning, extension planning, meter reading and control, maintaining the communication network, maintaining the security management. Out of these, the major role which is being played by operations is the network operation. So in this case, monitoring of the power system network, doing the power system analysis, reporting of any event, doing some statistical analysis of that event, or controlling of the load, control of various power system networks, monitor all the power flows in the power system network, doing fault analysis, are some of the key operations are being done in the operations domain. So network operation is one of the major component of the operations domain. Now let us talk about the generation domain. So in this domain, we will see that a lot of renewables are getting integrated. Say solar, wind, hydro, biomass, geothermal, and pump storage are added in addition to the conventional energy sources like nuclear, coal, and gas. So this domain is interacting with the transmission, with the operations, as well as the energy market. So for continuous interaction with these domains, the important thing is the communication network. Since we have the renewable as well as non-renewable generation coexisting in this domain, the scheduling of the generation will be very important activity for maintaining the supply and demand equation. So system operator has to coordinate the operation of the generating plants and ensure the stable and secure operation of the system. We will discuss wide area monitoring system in detail when we will go through the synchrophasor technology. So this will help in having the proper monitoring and control of the various generating systems. So for better monitoring, what we need is the communication infrastructure to be in place. Next is the transmission domain. So transmission domain is nothing but the physical transmission of the electricity. So this includes your various substations, the energy storage, wires, and also various controls and measurement components, say breakers, isolators, and the meters, various protection equipments, recording equipments, and the various stabilizing activities. Now, the interaction of the transmission domain is with the distribution, with the market, with the operations, and with the bulk generation. So, the requirement is to have the energy efficient transmission network which can carry power from bulk generation facilities to the power distribution system. So transmission network needs to be monitored in real time and protected against any potential disturbance. So here power flow and voltage on the lines need to be controlled in order to maintain a stable and secure operation of the system. Here the system operator has to ensure the optimal utilization of the transmission network by minimizing the losses and voltage deviation and maximizing the reliability of supply. And for carrying out all those activities, we need to have proper communication system developed, and we have to keep on sensing the various parameters for better monitoring and control of the transmission network. Now, in case of distribution domain, the important thing is the monitoring and control of the distribution system, where lot of protection and control devices needs to be monitored, and that happens with the help of substation automation and the distribution automation. As in case of the distribution domain, the distributed energy resources are also increasingly being integrated. The power needs to be properly monitored almost in real time, because the reversal of power flow happens more frequently in the distribution system. So here the role of distribution system operator is to control the DERs and coordinate in a way to ensure the stability and power quality of the distribution system. For that, the operator has to have frequent information exchange between various distribution system resources and the various software applications which are installed in the distribution control center. So the interaction of the distribution domain is with the operations, the transmission system, with the energy market, and the customer. So this domain is seeing lot of changes. The customer is changing from customer to prosumer role. So he is now the consumer as well as producer of the electricity. So lot of interaction are being done by the customer with the distribution system, and this causes lot of protection as well as stability related challenges in the distribution system. So the distribution system operator has a key role to ensure the stability of the distribution system.